You don't enter a millionaire's network, by the way, guys. You don't enter it. What happens is you become someone those networks absorb. So when you become someone of value, these millionaires, these entrepreneurs, these mashayikh, these people that have influence and have value, they notice you. I like that guy. I want to work with that guy. I share vision with that guy. Bring him close. If you want to become wealthy shabab and you want to build a wealthy network, you have to fall here. Now, in order for you to get here, you got to go through the what? The process. You don't start here. Everybody wants to become a millionaire. Everyone wants a Lamborghini tomorrow, but that's not the reality, bro. We have an 8-figure entrepreneur coming tomorrow who I've never met, who I've never spoken to. I don't know the brother. But me and Humain have a very strong relationship. When I asked Humain for a suggestion, if he would be a good fit, he made the call. I didn't even speak to him till today, but I have access to his network. So now there's a guy who's making $20 million a year coming to my retreat in Morocco. How do I have access to your network, Mohsen? Building Jameel Jiddan. The flip side is how many people do you have in your contact list right now that if you call, they never pick up? Why? Do they see you as valuable or a waste of time? How many guys would you call right now and he'd look at his phone? I'll leave him for later on. Everyone knows what that feels like, by the way. There's someone that all of you guys know right now that call you and you're like, wallahi, bro, I'm busy, man. Sah? Or akhi, let me call you back. Versus the person that calls you and as soon as you see the number, Habibi, what do you need? What's up? Sah? Which showcases that with people have different values. With those values comes urgency. So going into the network, how do we actually network? Let's look at this right here. Number one, reframing networking. How do we actually position ourselves within a network? You don't enter a millionaire's network, by the way, guys. You don't enter it. What happens is you become someone whose networks those networks absorb. So when you become someone of value, these millionaires, these entrepreneurs, these mashayikh, these people that have influence and have value, they notice you. I like that guy. I want to work with that guy. I align with that guy. I share vision with that guy. Bring him close. Too many guys these days are trying to forcefully enter these networks. And I'm telling you from experience, don't do that. Because you're going to learn the hard way. You're going to learn the hard way. The reality is when you build yourself enough to become, undeniable, then you just get attracted into those areas, right? There's two types of mindsets. The broke mindset who says, who do I need to meet? The second guy is the wealthy guy and he says, what? Who do I need to become to be unavoidable? Who do I need to become? What characteristics? Abdullah was speaking about some deep stuff earlier on. And I hope you guys took those lessons, but I'm going to be very honest with you guys. I was very disappointed, to be honest. I was analyzing the room, not from all of you guys, from some of you guys. A lot of you guys are just listening. Do you know, scientifically, that you forget 95% of what you hear when you don't write it down? You forget. Ya akhi, anta insan. And what you missed, that was the biggest thing, is that's a man that sacrificed time, money, losses, mistakes. He went through it all. You didn't go through it. And he's giving you the gem. He's telling you, this is what I did. These are my secrets to success. Istighfar, this, that, the other. A lot of you guys didn't even write that. You didn't write them down. Imagine not having the intelligence to be like, let me write that down and think about it and ponder upon it later on tonight when I'm alone and my mind is thinking. I've never come to an event in my life. I'm not sat in the front row. You asked me earlier, where do I sit? It's very clear. You sit in the front row, notepad, pen, you pay attention. The first thing I told you guys when we walked in was what? Lock away from the world, man. Stop jumping on your phone every 2 minutes. The world ain't going to stop. It's going to keep moving with or without you. But you're here right now. You're present. Take advantage of the moment. Take advantage of the opportunity. Take advantage of the network, right? So who do you need to become? Let's talk about it. There's 3 levels of networks. I want you to assess yourself and think about your own life and where you stand right now with this network, right? There's number 1, which is consumption. This is the person that's watching, learning, following. There are people in your circles right now, including yourselves, that could be in that category. You're watching everyone else, you're learning a few things here and there, and you're just following, right? The second guy is the participation. Contributing, collaborating, connecting. You want to collaborate, you want to connect, you want to contribute, you want to do something about it, right? Number 3 is the elite level, which is ownership. This is where you're controlling the flow of business, of resources. You're in control, right? You're setting standards. Abdullah, when he was speaking about SOPs earlier on, he mentioned it like 14 times, I think. He circled it about 20 times. And I was looking at you guys, I'm like, success leaves clues. The guy's literally circling the damn thing. SOP, 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 standards. When you set standards, people follow. When you have standards for yourself, people respect them. That's the truth, right? And deciding access. You're in a position where you make decisions. Wealth lives in ownership. If you want to become wealthy shabab and you want to build a wealthy network, you have to fall here. Now, in order for you to get here, you got to go through the what? The process. You don't start here. Everybody wants to become a millionaire. Everyone wants a Lamborghini tomorrow, but that's not the reality, bro. You have to go through the process first in order for you to actually, when you get to ownership, you have to earn ownership. Does that make sense? You can't just fall into ownership and last. You won't last. You'll get burnt out very fast, right? Going on to how the network ecosystem works. Networks are value ecosystems. They're not social groups. If you look at your groups as social groups, you are not utilizing your network. You don't even have access to a strong network. For example, going back to Muhsin, when we set up this network in the UAE, again, I was traveling. I was there for 3 weeks. I was enjoying life. But I was seeing Muhsin's efforts. I seen him put a group together, invite certain brothers together, and then cherry pick the ones that he liked in the sense of, they had similar alignment with their deen. They were father figures. They were this, they were that. And then he would bring them closer to private gatherings, to different outings that I was involved in as well. And I got to see how he was building the network, right? But that came from a lot of experience of going through networks yourself and learning and developing and growing, right? Every network is built on 4 things: access, leverage, trust, scarcity. This is how a network is built. And by the way, everything I'm talking about, guys, today is related to business. Yeah, we're here to learn how to grow our networks in a business term. This is how a network operates. Now, the second thing is the 4 layers of a $1 million network. Layer 1, we said is what? Access. Who can open doors that I can't? Does anybody feel like I have access to their network in this room? Put your hand up if you feel like I have access to your network.
In terms of...
Who believes that I have access to their network? Me, Marwan. Who believes I have access to their network? Humayn, why do you believe that?
Let's just say you needed something and I had a guy that needs something and you called me. Because I know the value you bring and the value they bring, I'll put you guys together.
Did you make it happen?
I'm happy, like, for Tanim's coming tomorrow.
We have an 8-figure entrepreneur coming tomorrow who I've never met, who I've never spoken to, who I've never jumped on the phone call with. I don't know the brother. But me and Humayn have a very strong relationship. And I asked Humayn for a suggestion if he would be a good fit. He made the call. I didn't even speak to him till today. I still haven't spoken to him on the phone. So when he arrives tomorrow, that's my first time talking to him live. But I have access to his network. So now there's a guy who's making $20 million a year coming to my retreat in Morocco. How do I have access to your network, Muhsin? Building trust. Jameel jiddan. Can I have access to their networks without trust? It's impossible. Sah? Now how do you build trust?
By providing value.
Time, opportunity.
Experience. How do you trust someone you don't experience anything with? Right? I know Musa, who's in the back. I've experienced something with Musa 5-6 years ago in Libya. And I told him 6 years ago, I'm going to meet your brother one day. Watch. 6 years later, his brother's in Morocco. Access is built on trust. So you have to look at your network right now and think, who trusts you enough to open? Because a network, shabab, if you don't see it, I see it very clearly. It's more important than money, by the way. Like I might take you into a room like this and there's just money everywhere, gold everywhere. I say, here you go. I trust that you can step into this room and you'll treat the gold with respect and you won't steal from me and you won't harm me and I can trust you, my brother. A network is more important than that room of gold. You're giving access to other human beings who have leverage and he trusts you enough to open those doors for you. Yeah? Number 2 is opportunity. Who controls money flow, deals, distributions? When you look at a network, think, who is the guy that pulls the trigger when it comes to these things? There's usually a guy for that. Who is this person, right? Number 3, influence. Who shapes perception and authority? Who has the influence in a network? Okay, just start speaking about Muhsin because I've experienced this with Muhsin recently. That's why I'm using him as an example. Who is the guy that's in layer 3? Actually, you know what? Because we know the group, give me who's in layer 1, who can open doors that you can't in our group in the UAE, from that group that we have. Dr. Mas. Good. Opportunity. Who's the guy that controls money flow, deals, and distributions? I know there's a few of them because they're in Dubai, man. They're all on business. Exactly. Wallahi, same guy in my head. See how we're aligned? 3, influence. Who shapes perception and authority? Harris. Exactly. Wallahi. He's like reading my mind, bro. And number 4, execution. Who actually gets things done at a high level? Exactly. Wallahi, uqsam billah, the names that he just said, I could write them on paper. By the way, this is a group of 40 people, by the way. 40 guys are in this group. He named the exact same names that I named. Why? Because it's clear. When you're in a network, you can, again, awareness, if you have awareness, you can see who's making shots, who's making moves, who has influence, who has authority, who has this, who has that. This is going to help you so much when you guys are going to build businesses, man. You got to know this stuff. Because if you're talking to the wrong guy, guess what you're talking to? A gatekeeper. You ain't going anywhere, right?